We did an AFC version earlier. Dan, let's go to the NFC. Let me start with Green Bay.
Don't be surprised if Jordan Love is an MVP candidate by season's end. Remember, he got hurt in week 1 last year, missed a couple games, came back, probably struggled a little bit with the injury. This is going to be a contending team. I thought so before the Micah Parsons acquisition, and I definitely think so now. And if they're able to get past Detroit and win their division, you're looking at a quarterback that's going to be mentioned with the best in the league this year.
Remember, they drafted a receiver in the first round, which they hadn't done in like our lifetimes.
Yeah.
What is your expectation for Jordan Love this year?
I've picked Jordan Love to win MVP this year.
Oh.
You know, if you
So you won't be surprised.
No, that's the MVP pick that I have. I just think Green Bay's absolutely loaded offensively, and if he can stay healthy, the way that Matt LaFleur's kind of figured out how to run that offense with him, they can throw the ball downfield. They can get the completions underneath. You can utilize the screen game. This is an offensive line that's very good. If Matthew Golden is what Matthew Golden is expected to be, this offense can shred you vertically, horizontally, schematically, and just honestly, with the addition of Micah, I would just be like, yo, we're the most aggressive quarterback in football this year.
Let me show you the odds, because Joe Fortenbaugh, when he was here on Friday, said the bet to make coming off of the acquisition of Parsons was not the Packers to win the Super Bowl, because the odds on that plummeted, but they're on Jordan Love to win MVP. If they're the best team and he has a big year, that's who usually wins the MVP. You see, he is 14-1 at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The 5 players ahead of him are Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Jaden Daniels. What do you think of the Packers and their quarterback this year with their new pass rusher?
I think if they start fast, I think he'll win MVP.
Yeah.
That's really been the gist of the problem with Jordan Love over the past couple years. He's been injured, or he starts off, has those interceptions. If he can start off fast with what they have in Green Bay, I think in my opinion, he'll be the MVP.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the most talented skill group in the NFL because you have some groups, like specifically to the NFC, A.J. Brown, very much so the Rams. But it could be the most deep.
Yeah.
Minnesota's high end. But, like, you're talking they've got 5 or 6 receivers that are really good players. They've got 2 tight ends that are really good players. I mean, there's just a plethora of people to throw the football to. Yeah, Jacobs is fantastic. And so if Jordan Love takes that really healthy step forward, he should throw for close to 40 touchdowns and well over 4,000 yards.
They open at home Sunday with the Lions. What an unbelievable opener.
So
the Packers are 2.5 point
quick.
Yeah, Packers are 2.5 point favorite in that game. The people who make the NFL schedule have some idea what they're doing. That's obviously a magnificent game to start with. Okay, our next surprise in the NFC comes from the New York Giants.
Don't be surprised if the Giants lead the league in sacks. I don't know if the Giants are going to be a very good team this year, but I think they have a very good defensive front. When you look at Brian Burns, when you look at Dexter Lawrence, when you look at Abdul Carter, who they drafted in the first round this year, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's still that's an incredible rotation of guys that can get after quarterbacks. I think they're going to be pretty tough to play.
Dan, I'm looking at your response to this on my notes here that you sent into our producers. I would love you to read what you said to them.
I think I said
they'll right here.
Yeah, I mean, if they lead the league in sacks, they'll win the division.
Ooh.
How about that?
Would you care to expand on that thought?
Well, if they're leading the league in sacks, that means that they're playing against teams that they have more than likely a lead on.
That's right.
And so they're winning a bunch of football games. And if they gather the lead often, this defensive line will hunt. I mean, if you look at the teams that led the NFL in sacks last year, you're talking about the Denver Broncos, the Baltimore Ravens, the Houston Texans, the Vikings. They're all playoff teams, okay? So you lead the NFL in sacks, you're going to be a very good team. Burns, Carter, Dexter Lawrence, those three guys alone are issues one-on-one.
I mean, you see it on your screen. They won 3 games last year. The vibes couldn't have been worse. They feel much better right now. D. Wood, I love the question that's on the screen.
Yeah.
Do you think we're sleeping on the Giants?
I think the biggest question, can they play with a lead? That's the thing.
Well,
if they can play with if this offense does anything, but with that defense backing it up, I think we're going to be talking late in the year. We'll have a totally different tone.
Will it be with Russell, or at some point will it be with the rookie?
I'm going to say the rookie's going to come in at some point.
What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart plays at some point this year. That's for me, the big unknown is kind of what is Russell Wilson, or who is Russell Wilson? There were moments in Denver didn't go great. There's moments at the start of Pittsburgh when he takes over last year for Justin. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, and then it fizzled. And it fizzles a little bit because the offensive line's not great, and how many playmakers did they have? And so it's not all that different of a situation with the Giants. But it's like if he rekindles some of the magic that he had a couple years ago in Seattle, it's like, okay, I can see it happening. I think that's unlikely. But I do think that they're a little bit more of a nuisance than they were in the years past.
That's the definition of, so you're saying there's a chance. Our analytics are giving them a 4% chance to win the division.
It's got to be somebody besides the Eagles. That's the rules.
Here's what I say. Dan always brings this up because no team has won that division back-to-back years in how long?
It'll be 21 years. Yeah.
But rules are made to be broken, right? At some point.
Theoretically, I mean, 21 years is a
that
long
streak
time.
can't go on forever.
The streak is old enough
It's
to
not
drink.
really a rule, Green.
The streak
He made it up.
The streak is,
I didn't make it up.
It's a streak.
True.
I mean, he didn't make up the streak. No team has won that division back-to-back years.
If there's
in 21
one thing
years.
that we're going to know from Graz
Something
is
weird.
that no one has repeated in the NFC.
Something weird always happens.
I like that line. The streak is now old enough to drink, and I'll tell you right now, there'll be a lot of people really drunk in this town if the Giants wind up winning the NFC East. Thursday, I have asked all of my football experts for some bold predictions for Week 1. Damien, Woody, give me one and make it bold.
Yeah, how about Caleb Williams throwing 3 tutties against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football?
Yes, sir.
And a win.
On ESPN.
On ESPN, baby. 3 tutties. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams versus Brian Flores, defensive coordinator, Minnesota. Everyone's talking about this as Caleb Williams versus J.J. McCarthy. I want to see Caleb Williams against the always creative defensive coach. Do you expect him to have a big night?
And Ben Johnson, the new offensive coordinator, head coach, play caller. I think he plays well, but this is going to be a big challenge now. Ben Johnson's had success against Flores at times, but that was with a ton of veteran players.
Yeah.
This will be a very stiff challenge to start the season for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, if he plays well against that defense,
feel
the
great.
way they disguise and the
great.
way they try and fool quarterbacks, then that's a great sign for his season, Caleb.
The Vikings are a 1.5-point favorite on the road, so you expect Caleb Williams to play big. Do you expect J.J. McCarthy to play big as well, or do you see Chicago, I'm going to use the word stealing, can you consider what each of their seasons were last year, stealing a huge win in the opener?
Yeah, I expect J.J. McCarthy to come out firing. I expect him to have a big season, but I want to go with Caleb Williams.
The Bears to win the game.
The Bears to win the game.
I think the real question for me is Jefferson's health, how healthy is the hammy, and then how quickly J.J. McCarthy and Adam Thielen get on the same page. Remember, Addison not playing in this game. He'll be out the first 3 games of the season, so that does help Chicago's defense. I'm not picking this game yet, Green.
Here's the thing that I brought this up multiple times. I don't mean to sound like a broken record. At ESPN Bet Sportsbook, at least as of the last time I checked, the total on Minnesota this season is 8.5 wins.
Yeah.
That is a stunningly low number for a team that won 14 games a year ago. And I know they made the quarterback change, and I don't mean to disrespect Sam Darnold, but it's not like they lost, Joe Burrow. So to me, they're begging you to take the over in that. What is it that 8.5? What is it that I'm missing here?
I think if Joe Fortenbaugh were here, he would point out that Minnesota won a ton of very close games last year.
Right.
And that's generally thought of as something that regresses to the mean. Thing is, with Minnesota, it kind of doesn't. Like, they did that same exact thing in Kevin O'Connell's first year, and then the second year, Cousins got hurt and things went off the rails a little bit. But they may just be very, very good at winning close games. I know it's a tough way to live.
I think
but
that's all.
Over-unders are just attached to the quarterback, right? Like I
Yes,
think
there are
it's just like if you
questions
got a
about
good
the
quarterback, you win a lot of games. And so I guess the unknown of JJ.
How good do you expect him to be, and how quickly?
I fully expect him to play very similar to what Sam Darnold did production-wise last year. I think he should push 35 touchdowns. I think he should push 4,000 yards. And I think this team, if he plays average football, is an NFC Championship contender.
The only thing I can guarantee you is that next Tuesday we will be overreacting like crazy to whatever happens in that Monday night game, Vikings at Bears, our first Monday game of this season. All right, next bold prediction. Graziano, give me something bold.
The Jets are going to beat the Steelers on Sunday, and Aaron Rodgers return to the Meadowlands. The Jets have been very quiet. You haven't heard a lot of glowing positive stuff, but you haven't heard much period, about the Jets. I think Aaron Glenn's going to have this group ready to go. I think they'll pull an upset.
The Jets are exactly where I like them to be, to your point, which is no one's talking about them at all. Yeah. The last couple of years, because of Aaron and because of all these other things, the Jets are on Hard Knocks, and everybody's picking them and all that kind of stuff, and we saw where that went. The silence is deafening around that team. You see the analytics like the Steelers, 59% is a pretty significant number, and the Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite on the road. What do you expect from Rodgers in this game against the Jets?
I think Rodgers will play good football, not only in this game, but this season. It's really going to come down to how well New York can cover DK Metcalf in those one-on-one situations, because I expect them to.
Sauce do that? That's a Sauce Gardner
That's Sauce's specialty. Yeah, he wants to play man coverage. Now, DK's a different animal with his physical presence. So I think that Aaron early and often will try to get DK the ball and take some shots down the field. Somebody else is going to have to step forward. I think a huge part of this game is how the Jets offensive line handles that Steelers defensive line. If they can, they'll keep themselves in the football game.
What do you think, D Wood? You obviously are very close to the Jets. You got to practices and stuff and like that and see that. What do you expect in this fascinating opener as Aaron Rodgers returns to New York?
Jets going to play a real specific brand of football. They're going to, like I've said before, the Jets should lead the league in rushing attempts. They want to run the football. I don't think Justin Fields is going to throw the ball a ton this whole season. They are going to physically pound teams. Whether they win or lose, they're going to physically, it's going to be a physical toll on opponents when they play the Jets.
Now, you were on the Jet team that went to the AFC Championship game with a rookie starting quarterback by leading the league in rushing and having the #1 defense in the league. In order to be that one-dimensional on offense, you need to be that good at it. You guys had a great offensive line. You were part of it. And the defense with Rex was literally the #1 defense in the NFL. Begs the question, can this team be that good if they're that one-dimensional?
I will say this. The Jets have talent. They have talent on both sides of the ball. So, I know it's been quiet around the Jets, but don't sleep on the talent of the Jets. They got elite players on both sides of the football.
Yeah, and one of them is Garrett Wilson. So let's get Heather Dinich in here, because we touched on this a little bit earlier. If you know Heather, as we do, then you know that she is a Steelers fan through and through, frequently with a terrible towel on TV and getting all excited and all that stuff. So you suggested it. We probably need a wager.
I think we need a wager, and I know this is all JETS, just over here. But when the Steelers win, Greeny, I'm going to give you one of my 23 terrible towels, and you are going to wave it on TV, and you're going to do it like you mean it.
Okay, so we will have that. And if when the Jets win this game, I will send you a jersey of my favorite player, Garrett Wilson, and you will have to wear that on TV as you were talking. What do you think of this wager?
I think that's a pretty fair bet. How long does Greeny have to use the terrible towel on TV? Is it one and done, or?
Well, we'll do it through the whole show. I'll have one for the show.
I want
we'll do it
the whole
regularly.
show, like Darlington spinning.
Yeah, I mean, the number 6 comes to mind for me. 6 times.